I'm participating in world largest hackathon, and as part of this hackathon, I'm sharing frequent updates about what I am doing in this hackathon, what I am building, how I am building those, and whatever decision that I'm making, the why behind those decisions, how I'm navigating with business, technical, and other challenges. So I will give you a glimpse of what we are building. I started with Bolt and built the first version of the product, or the initial version of the product, and then I switched to Visual Studio Code. I don't know if you know this or not, but in Bolt you can connect your application with GitHub, and then in Visual Studio you can clone that application, and then you will be able to use both Bolt and Visual Studio, or Cursor for that matter, as long as you are signed in with the same GitHub account in Bolt and Visual Studio Code and Cursor. So that's what we are doing. And the reason for that is Bolt does not do Python coding, at least right now. I have decided to do backend in Python, and I will share why I have decided that. But this is an application where my backend is in Python and my front end is in React. And this is how the application look like right now. It goes through 7 different process, but let's deep dive into what is happening behind the scene. As I said, I'm sharing frequent updates. So far, I have shared 9 videos and several posts on X, several posts on LinkedIn about different activity that I have done. My hope is that I will be able to help other people who are participating in the same hackathon with knowledge and ideas of how I'm doing things and how they can utilize some of these knowledge. For example, some of the videos talk about how to participate in this hackathon, how to create Bolt account, how to find ideas to build in this hackathon, and all those videos are available on my channel. It's vinod.sharma, and then I have created a whole
using multiple AI coding tools
that you can go through, and I'm continuously adding more content to it. So that's part number 1. Part number 2 is, let's get deeper into what has happened so far. So the hackathon started on May 29, and initially me and my co-founder decided to build a Shopify search engine optimization autopilot. We spent about a week researching the idea. We researched competitor. We researched at least 5 different products that are already available who does the same type of thing. We went through their features. We went through their YouTube videos. We also try to read all the reviews, good and bad, about these products. And then we try to reach out to some of the Shopify store owners and understand how do they handle their search engine optimization and what kind of challenges that they face and how much they would be willing to pay if there is a good solution. And then I also created a work breakdown structure, application flow. We did a lot of research while we was working on this idea just in 1 week. But by the time, 2 things happened. Number 1, this area is very saturated. There are so many competitors are already there, even though they are not doing excellent, but we will be a very latecomer to a very saturated market. Second, during this time, my co-founder found somebody who has been running ad agency since 2019. His name is Victor, and my co-founder name is Virgil. So we met a couple of times just to fully understand each other, to understand our background, and also to see if there is a scope in converting his manual flow into a product that we can sell. We also research competitors. So we spent a couple of days just to fully understand and grasp what we are thinking. And then finally on June 8th, we decided to change our idea from Shopify SEO autopilot to a video ad platform that we are now building. So at this point, we had to restart, do everything that we have done for the other idea. So we started with that. We spent a couple of days or a couple of sessions to observe all the manual process. I've done many projects in past where I would take a manual process, create a process diagram, then convert that manual process into an electronic process and create another process diagram, and then based a new application on that new process diagram. So, but before I did all that, I also wanted to understand the technology. So 4th point, I built 4 different proof of concepts. So those proof of concept were like this. My first application that I built in Bolt was Next.js, which is calling multiple APIs and database. So that worked great. And I was able to get the output. I will be able to go through different process. Again, this was not a full-fledged application. but a part of the application, I wanted to break that application into a front end and a back end so that I can deploy them into two different instances because I know the performance will be key. Also, I get really nervous when everything is in the front end. I'm extra cautious about all the keys and everything. So anyway, I wanted to try some other models architecture as well. So the next, I broke this into React and Node.js with Express. So this became my API layer, backend layer. All the front end logic was here, and it worked good. Then I built two variation of this, one of them with Python and Fast API, and second one Django because it's one of the popular thing. But I didn't want to have all the Django layers because my focus is narrow for building this API. So I built all these four, the research, asking other people, asking ChatGPT, asking different LLM. I had that input as well, but my own preference was this. And that's what we decided. Now, there is one key factor that I had to look at when we will scale and start hiring developers for a model like this. I will only have to train them on one set of technology. Both of them are based on JavaScript. So this model has some added advantage. While here, I'm using two different technologies and somebody will have to learn either two different sets of tech or I will have to keep two sets of people. But one of the things that I like about this solution is when dealing with AI, there is a recommendation that Python works really well. And I know from my own experience that you can do a lot in Python with a very small code base. So anyway, there was two factors that took a long time for me to bounce between. And ultimately I decided that. So once I had that finalized, the next one was to where should I deploy it? I had many options. So Vercel, Harico, Railways, AWS has many different combination, but primarily EC2 and Lightcell. My friend Piyush, he has a YouTube channel and he's been in cloud for 13 years. He suggested using Lightcell, which is what I decided to do. I have been using Vercel for some time. With Python, it's not going to work anyway. I did not like Herico. And then I could have gone with Railway, but I wanted to try AWS for my own experience. And I know that many other startups have been using AWS. One thing that I know for sure that AWS will not limit me ever when it will be time for growth. One of the added advantage was that I was able to apply for AWS startup credit and I received it. So we have $1,000 to spend on these servers, which probably going to last a good chunk of time. So made it easy for us to decide AWS. One last thing, I have heard stories about how Vercel get costlier when you have more bandwidth and all. So that was the thought process behind it. And then once we decide that this is what I've been using, or my prototype is based on this structure that I have two instances. Instance number one for the front end, which is Linux and Node.js. And then the second instance is Linux Django, where I will be hosting Python and Fast API. And that's where I will call all my APIs and database. And final thing to this is I wanted to build a structure where I will deploy, I will build my code in Visual Studio Code, check in that to GitHub, and then I want it to deploy automatically to AWS instance. And I spent 5 hours this Saturday. I've created a video just for that. Let me show you that. Watch me set up AWS. In this video, I have covered everything. I've covered everything that how I configured this and how everything is working. And this is my POC proof of concept instances, which I deleted later, but I will start from scratch and everything. But I was able to deploy here and then able to test my theory about how these applications will work in this fashion and then how the deployment will happen. So all that was validated here with a proof of concept application. There are multiple things that are happening. Number one, we have wireframes, we have high level flow and all. And apart from that, I have also created the low level flow that I'm currently in use along with a few additional things. And then these are my work breakdown structure that talk about registration, onboarding flow, profile, the prompt engineering, database design, application design, and a couple of other things. So this is where we are. It has taken us a long time to get here, but we still have almost half of the month. And we do plan to finish this application and launch it with a closed beta group. We have some business owner, some agency owner shown interest in trying this application. So really exciting. We are hoping that we will be able to make a big jump in the next 15 days. I will keep you posted. If you like anything that I have shared today, and if you need any help or anything that I have done, a copy of that, please let me know. I will be happy to share. Anybody who is in this hackathon is friend, and I am here to help you and support you. Bye for now. See you in the next video.